Hello and welcome back, guys. This is Renelle Brooks again, your host with Purpose and Power, and we are back with another episode. I want you guys to be excited because this is one of the core topics. We're going to be talking about goals, but specifically SMART goals. So let's just be real. And I've talked about this so many times. Motivation fades, and that is normal. That is natural. Motivation is going to fade. You're not always going to be motivated. But clarity, structure, and timelines, and of course, your why, that's going to keep you moving forward. The thing is, you don't want to get stagnant. No matter how it looks, you want to keep moving forward, even if you're just taking a step at a time. So you keep moving forward when you have a clear structure, you have clear goals, and your why is clear. You keep moving forward when you have a purpose-driven goal, a purpose-driven business, a purpose-driven vision. And so all those things together keep you motivated. It keeps you moving forward. And even on those days when you are not motivated, these other things, the timeline, the clarity, the structure, your why, and these SMART goals will keep you moving forward one step, just one step at a time. And that's really all you need. You don't have to move mountains in a day. But as long as you keep moving and don't give up, my motto is never give up, no matter how it feels, no matter what you're going through, no matter how it looks, never give up. So let's get into it. Let's get into these goals. Sometimes people set goals like grow my business or make money. And those sound good, but what do they really mean? What do they actually mean? When you get to the meat of it, what does it mean to say, I'm going to grow my business? How are you going to grow your business? What tools, what skills? Let's get clarity, guys. And you know, if you have been following me, I am one to have clarity, whether I'm dealing with stakeholders, whether I'm dealing with individuals. Let's get clear on what we are doing. Let's not be all over the place, but let's get clear, because once you get clear, that's when you can really go. You can really have some acceleration in your moving forward if you have clarity. So how will you know when your goal is achieved? That's where the SMART goals comes in. You don't want to be spinning your wheels doing all these things and don't even have any type of inkling whether the goal has been achieved or not. So let's break down SMART goals. And it's actually an acronym, SMART, SMART goals, and each of them stands for something important and key, and all of them work together to form the SMART goals that align with what you are doing in your business or organization. So S is going to stand for specific. Is your goal well defined and clear? And we talked about it a little bit just a few minutes ago when we talked about, I want to make more money. I want to grow my business. Is that well defined? Is that clear? What are you actually trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? So that's where the specific comes in. The next letter is M, which is measurable. Can you measure progress and results? What indicators show that you are moving forward? And this is real important. They're called OKRs or KPIs, which is key performance indicators. And they let you know if these things are being performed, then you are on your way to the goal. And let me give you an example. So let's say you are a food bank and your goal is to serve 100 families every quarter. So how are you going to measure that? How are you going to know if you've reached that goal? What's going to help you is the key performance indicators. So you're going to set up some type of system to track how many families, not individuals. You may want to track individuals for age demographic appropriations, but if your goal is for families, you want to track how many families are being served so that you can know that you met that goal. That's a simple way to put it. And so we're looking at that and saying, okay, is this measurable? Have I made this measurable by putting in the key performance indicator? What was my indicator? Let's say it's 4 months, not 3 months. So at the end of the month, my milestone would be we reached 25 families. So if I'm saying within that 4-month period, I want to reach 100, we can break it down and say that key performance indicator that I am on target for my goal is if I reach 25 families at the end of each month for 4 months, I will make that goal. And of course, some months you're going to have more families, some months you're going to have less families, but you want to try to have the goal to reach 25 families a month so you can reach that major goal of 100 families within 4 months. So that's what we mean when we talk about measurable. And it can get very, very complex. I'm just giving you a simple definition so you can understand how we measure and why it is important. You want to make sure your goals are achievable. Achievable. So you don't want to make a goal that is unrealistic. The goal should be realistic and possible given your current resources or resources that you know for sure that are coming in. Your goals need to be realistic. You don't want to say, we can serve 3,000 families in the food bank when you only have food resources for 100 families. You see what I mean? So you want to make sure that that goal is achievable. When you go to craft that goal, it has to be achievable. Realistic. And you may think realistic and achievable is the same thing, but it's not. Does it make sense for your business? Let's say, we're going to use the food bank example. You are a food bank dealing in food security. Why would you make a goal that said that you can solve cybersecurity issues? That's not realistic. You are a food security provider. Your area of focus, which we'll get into, by the way, is food security. It's not cybersecurity, it's food security. So does it make sense for your business? Is it aligned with your vision? Is it aligned with your mission? So let's make it make sense, guys. This is very, very simple. So the last one is T, timely, timely, timely. It is so important that you provide a goal with a time frame so that you can make sure that it's done within that time frame. When does the goal start? When does it end? Create a timeline that pushes action. Let me give you an example, guys. So when I wrote my first book, I had an outline for my book, but I didn't have a timeline. So my first book was 1.5 years in coming. When I decided this is the date that my book needs to be finished by, I finished it in 4 months. Guys, time will push you to action. When you put time as a part of your goal, it will help you to accomplish the goal. Now, let's take it a little bit deeper. When developing goals for your business or your company or your organization, you want to use what I call the 5 W's and how to add context and direction to these goals. The 5 W's and how. So the first W is why. Why am I creating this program or project? And guys, if you are watching the videos, you should know that I talk about why over and over and over and over again, because it is so important. Why am I creating this program, this project? Why am I creating this organizational goal? Why am I creating this goal for my business? The second W is who. Who is this for? In our last episode, we talked about target audience. Who can help me implement it? That's really important, guys. I have something that I do with my clients, and it really makes them think about who they can collaborate, who they can partner with to get it accomplished. Things that people don't normally think about. I talk to my clients and I have a checklist. And once they complete that checklist, they are so surprised at the people that can help them accomplish their goals. So the next W is what? What are the steps? And we're going to talk about objectives and action steps. We're going to talk about that soon, maybe in our next episode. But what are the steps that you need to take to accomplish the goal? What is the expected outcome? Guys, if you don't know about logic models, okay, I probably have to do a logic model video. But logic models are life, guys. Especially for me, I'm excited about planning and doing all that. But logic models really, really help you work from the outcome to accomplish the goals. Next W is when, and that goes back into the timing, your timing. What is my deadline? And again, guys, I gave you that scenario with my book. Until I put a timeline on it, I was very lackadaisical with finishing my first book. What is my launch timeline? Guys, and we're gonna probably talk about launches. And shout out to Kendra. She coined the term unsexy launch. And sometimes we get caught up in perfection and we think everything has to be done perfectly. And ultimately, nothing gets done because you keep revising and revising and revising. And so, what she came up with was the unsexy launch. The unsexy launch means a launch that is not perfect. You don't have everything together. You have the basic components and you move forward. And then you put everything together as you go. And I recommend that for my procrastinators, those that will wait till the last minute, and my perfectionists, those that will rehearse and do over and over and over and over again, and then they don't get anything done. So, what is your launch timeline? So, the next W is where. Where will this be executed? Are you going to be on U.S. soil? Are you going globally? Is it going to be in an open air event where you're having it in a park? I have a client and also barter partner, and she does a lot of exercises with groups of people. She's my trainer in the park. So where will it be executed? Where will it be marketed? Who's your target audience? That's going to depend on where you market your project, your program, and what you're going to be doing, your goals. So finally, guys, we're up to how. How will I carry this out? What systems will be in place? What tools will I use? And that is so important, guys, because the systems will make or break you. If you have, and I probably should do a class about systems, guys, keep track of this because I haven't wrote anything down, but I should do a class about systems. The systems that you have, I just recently got a certificate for a workflow specialist certificate, and I just learned another system that is awesome. Just automating your workflows, and then also just integrating your payment solutions and other things like that is life. You can let that run and you don't have to do anything. Set it up one time. People come in, they fill out forms, and it just automatically goes down the pipeline. Guys, your systems are important. Give a shout out if you want me to do a class on systems and tools that you can use to streamline your business. Yeah, I definitely need to do a class on that. I get excited about that. But anyways, yes, how will you carry this out? So all of those come into play? Those are things that you think about when you are creating your SMART goals. And my suggestion is that you don't have 20 SMART goals. How will you accomplish 20 SMART goals? I believe that you should have 3, maybe 4 well-crafted, realistic SMART goals that you can carry out. And then once those are completed, then you write another set. And remember, your goals have to be aligned with your vision, have to be aligned with your mission statement. And so all those things have to tie in together. That's why I started at your vision, your mission, your core values, your culture. So all of your goals, they tie into what you believe, your why, what you're doing, what your ultimate goal is, your vision, and how you will carry it out. All those things help you create and craft SMART goals. So when we talk about goals, we talk about the short-term goals. We talk about the long-term goals. We talk about the mid goals. And all of those things help you to be able to craft the goals and craft them well. So when we think about it, I want you to think about your goals in this way. Break them up into 3 categories. So your short-term goals, those are goals that will represent changes in awareness, knowledge, skills, or access to a particular target population. In this case, we're talking about your target audience, your target group. And again, if you were watching the last episode, you can have several different target audiences or groups depending on your core services that you offer. Your midterm goals represent changes in the target behavior. So you want ultimately your audience to begin to shift from just being aware to actually starting to change. Then actually the whole state of the population begins to change. So your long-term goals represent a change in the state of the target population, like social impact. So think about those things when you are writing your goals. And I want to give you an example. So let's say your short-term goal is to educate members with top-notch content. So a SMART goal for that is, I will create and release 4 high-quality training videos by August 30th that address marketing, leadership, systems, and funding so that members can increase their business clarity. So let's say that was my goal, and I have a membership tier where people pay monthly and they are able to access key videos and things that I want to give specific for members. So let's say that my goal is to my short-term goal now, because remember, short-term goals create access, they educate, they bring awareness. So here is my short-term goal with those things in mind. My short-term goal, and this is just the regular terms, not my SMART goal terms. I want to educate my members with top-notch content. So my SMART version of this goal is going to be, I will create and release 4 high-quality training videos by August 30th that address marketing, leadership, systems, and funding so that members can increase their business clarity. So a midterm goal might be about providing opportunities for exponential growth. If we're looking at that same educational framework. A long-term goal may be developing a global network of professionals across industries. So you see how we went from training videos that bring awareness, and we brought that into that midterm goal, which is now providing opportunities because we're changing the behavior of the target audience in the midterm goals. And then the long-term goal is developing a global network of professionals across industries. So that long-term goal is going to change the state of the population. It's going to change their whole state because now we have professionals across different industries coming together. When we first started off with training videos. So that's just a short lesson in how you target populations. And if you think about this on a global level, if you want to change the state of a nation, you start with awareness. You start with bringing in skill set, access, knowledge. And then you come in and you start with their behavior beginning to change because of the education and the information that they now have access to. And then on the long-term side of it, you change the whole state of that population because they have the access. Now you're building a network of professionals across different industries. But see how the progression is? It's SMART goals. You start short term, long term, and midterm. Think about this in your business. You start with a short term goal, go into the medium goal, and go into the long range goal. So you want to start that way. Big picture goals are great, but we get there through clear, focused, short-term wins. So that's what the SMART goals help us to do. So guys, I'm going to give you homework. Just get the digital notebook out, get some pens and paper, write it down, type it out, write down one goal that you have been sitting on. Break it down using the SMART framework. Now I want you to apply the 5 W's and how to bring it to life. What do you think, guys? I hope this was good information for you. I hope it brought value to you. And if you're ready to map it out with support, if you need to contact Purpose Inc., we are here for you. We're going to build these goals brick by brick, and they're going to help you to be able to accomplish great things. This was Purpose and Power. And again, I am Renelle Brooks, your host. And guys, this is how we do it. One step at a time. One step at a time, you are building for your business. All right, guys. Hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.